Move my chair a little bit here. Good rising. Everybody a chance to kind of come in here right quick. Hold on real quick. I forgot. All right, now I'm back. Shalom, shalom. Good seeing everyone. Shalom, shalom. Good seeing everyone. Let's see what I can get here. Let's see. Play a little something here. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Figure we get a little time. Good seeing you, Brother Sister Cassandra. Give everyone a chance to kind of come in, spend a little time together tonight. Play a little of our Psalms 121. Get a chance to spend some time together, bounce some more ideas off of each other, talk about what's going on right now, talk a little bit about the last couple of videos posted. Great seeing you, Rico from South Carolina. Thank you, Myola. All praises to the Most High. It said it's all starting to connect. Good seeing you, Brother Capstone. It says it's all starting to connect, you know. You guys hear a little bit of that. Thank you, Royal Princess of Riyadh. Appreciate that. All praises to the Most High. Hopefully you guys can hear the song all right. Thank you, Tony. Love you too, man. Loving the family, loving spending time together, loving the Most High working to give us back our knowledge and understanding. Love seeing the Most High raising his people back up. No, they can't stop this boat. You're right, Brother Capstone. Thank you, Rose of Sharon. Appreciate that. It's good seeing everybody here tonight. Great to see everyone coming on in. Opportunity for us to spend some time together. Talk about what we're seeing going on worldwide. I'm cracking up about some of the things I'm seeing from the other nations, copying the concepts that we're putting out here. You know, and I think we should be looking for that quite a bit now. You know, how you can see the other nations. I mean, they've been copying us and we didn't realize it. You know, we didn't realize a lot of things they were getting are actually getting from us and our old records. But they're doing the same things even today. They have nothing original, so all they can do is copy. Thank you, eternal success, all praises. Thank you. Hebrew New Year, yeah, I believe it. Ty Hall. Like I said, everything revolves around us, and everything revolves around our feast days, our people awakening, all that. Just giving a couple minutes here for people to come in, and everyone's kind of get an opportunity to kind of talk a little bit. I'm able to take a chance to, a little time here to look at the comments right now. Looking at some of the Gentile channels and some things that they're talking about. Just amazing to see. Just looking here. I'll play a little bit of my boy, John Boy, old song he has. I really like this song. It's called Work in Progress from John Boy. Play a little bit of this before we get started. How the Most High has been working on us. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. So all praises to the Most High. Oops, what just happened here? Guys, we mess with our flow of our music.
Working on me. Remember false ways when he was working on me. Working on me. Working on me. Turn the righteous page when he was working on me. The Father blessed me hard when he was working on me. My mission reached his cause when he was working on me. Working on me. Working on me. Man, I thank the Father, he kept working on me. Okay, in 2013, I was trying hard, not keeping all the laws, but I was a fraud. Already 6 albums in, and that was just a start. These drop bones got strong, now God in charge. Still trying my luck, still testing people. I see no evil, and you are see-through. They say
I'll leave a link to his music in the description box. John Boy, called Work in Progress.
But the most said they won't see. Knock the dust off my shoes, chuck the dudes back on the move. Ain't got none here to prove. The Father be the one to make them choose. Working on me, working on me. Remember false ways when he was working on me. Working on me, working on me. Turn the righteous page when he was working on me. The Father blessed me hard when he was working on me. My mission reached his cause when he was working on me. Working on me, working on me. Man, I thank the Father, he kept working on me. You can catch me in the cut, but they ain't nothing new. I pray and meditate.
I listen to a lot of Hebrew music.
It's B to the O to the Y plus the E be the few. I'm saying me, myself, and I, and these B's are blue. We committed to be great and all we need.
We'll come back into that in a little bit because we're gonna listen to some of these other channels, a couple of things they be talking about. I said because it's pretty hilarious at this point. Let's put that down real quick. So yeah, man, so all praises to the Most High. I said in that Transcendental Magic book from this morning, I mean, that's just one little tiny piece of what's in that book. I mean, there's so much information. What you're going to see is in a lot of these books that they've been talking about are about magic and about all these evil things. You can start to see that they're referring to Israel all over the place. They're talking about Israelites everywhere. They're talking about the chosen people all over the place. So, like I said, these books are not what you think they are. They're not what they've been told, that they are. Okay, so you got to understand, like, hey, Satan gives out information for free. If he wants you to follow him, he gonna make it as easy as possible. I say he gonna make it as easy as possible. Like I said, you get to go to church every Sunday. Church is open every day. If you want to go at different times, you can go on Saturday, Sunday. You can go every day. Didn't we all have to go? A lot of us had to go multiple times during our lifetime because our parents or a lot of times our moms, wanted to be at church every day, and we'd have to go all the time, right? So you can go to church all the time. So I said, so if they don't really want, Satan's gonna make it as easy as possible to follow him, right? Because hey, he accepts anybody who wants to follow him. So it would make sense then that a lot of these churches, they're all ran by Satan. We all know it's an abominable church. So he gonna make it really easy, really convenient. Oh, you don't want to get up at 6? That's okay, man. I'll give you a 9 o'clock service. Oh, 9 o'clock's too early? Oh, okay, that's cool. I'll give you 11:30 service. Oh, you don't want to show up at all? That's cool. We'll do a 6 o'clock service. Whatever it is that whatever we got to do to get you in here, we'll do the same lesson 4 times on Sunday just to get you up in here. I said anything that Satan wants you to do, he's gonna make it really easy for you. That's why that's that broad gate. That's that a broad road right there. Because I said it's easy. It's hella easy to follow Satan. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but if you want to follow the Most High, he already tells you, hey, this ain't gonna be no easy road. This ain't gonna be, easy going down easy street. This is gonna be the path that very few choose. And there you go. I was going to talk about that. Stephen Fletcher, 222. Chiefs keeps on with those rolling them rapture dates. Yep. And actually, it was funny. We're going to talk about his video a little bit in a little bit. Thank you for bringing that up. Because that's how Satan is. I said he makes things nice and easy. I said the Most High, he going to test you. He going to say, you think you want to follow me? Okay. Has he not always tested his people? I mean, you see his testing us all the time. We go through tests all the time. So he makes it like he tests you to see if you really about this, if you're really about following him, And so, and all of us have a story. All of us definitely have, a testimony of how it's been trying to follow the Father. What did he say? As soon as you start following me, you're going to lose friends. You're going to lose family. You lose people that you thought, that were cool with you. I said, you're going to realize real quick that if you start following the Father, those people that were supposedly cool with you ain't down with you no more. So, like I said, so these, he not going to make it easy. These books ain't easy to get. I said they're expensive. There's not very many of them. I said, but the Most High is making sure that we get them. You know why? Because I said, that's our information. Those are our books. That's our information. And as hard as they've been trying to keep us out of them, I said the Most High is still making a way and making sure that we as a nation get this information and we get this information out. Exactly. We're supposed to have them. I said, what you got to understand too is like, there's a history of this, of demonizing our ways. They've always, as soon as they got here and they wanted to demonize the native, they demonized the ways of the natives. They made it seem as if it was anything the natives were doing was witchcraft, was following the devil, And what did they do? If you guys are familiar with how they would put the kids in boarding schools, they would take these kids from their families and they would put them in boarding schools, especially these natives. And So they would, what is it? They would kill the Indian, but would save the man. That was kind of like their way of justifying it. So they would take these native children and they would pretty much indoctrinate them. That's exactly what they were doing. Okay, so and then they made they made them cut their hair. They made them look European, had them following European ways. Then that's exactly what they've been, and they destroyed all things that were native, all things that were there, right? So they've been doing this to our people the whole time. Anything that was yours is evil. Anything that has to do with how you did things before they got here is evil. And now they're finding about all the horrible things they were doing to these kids at the schools. You know, raping them, killing them, doing whatever, burying them. You never heard from them again, and no one's ever had to pay for any of this. So, like I said, these are the kinds of things that have been happening to our people. Thousands of remains of indigenous children. Exactly. Now, I was looking at a video, and what was crazy was on this video they were showing the kids. And see, most of the time they show you the one, the natives, like the ones they like to push. But in these schools, they actually had a lot of so-called Negro-looking kids. And I picked up on that when I was watching the video. I was like, hold on, there's black kids in this school. There's a bunch of them too, and you can see them. But those ones aren't the ones that you really see depicted, on television. I said, but if you look at the video, you can see it. I think it was by Vox. If you look up like boarding schools, and it was one by channel VOX. So you take a look at yourself, and you'll see it. If you take a look at the pictures, they'll start showing. You'll start seeing actually so-called black kids that were actually at the schools as well. So, and they were just talking mad mess about yeah, we're getting the savage out of these people. We're making them civilized and blah 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 blah. But the whole point of this is that in order to follow, um, the devil, they made it hella easy. I said they make it very convenient and very easy to do that. Can't hold on fast. I'm gonna plug this. Oh, thank you, Captain, for letting us know that. And I mean, I'm sure we all got like a lot of family, you know, that was definitely has been indoctrinated, has gone through the whole process and things like that. Nuns abusing the kid, yep. Killing the kids, yep, exactly. Great seeing you, Mem Sayeshara. Thank you for being here. Let's see here. That's beautiful. I said, but so, like I said, but those that book, I said, Brother Abdullah actually had I think one of the sisters actually share the PDF, so you can actually get the PDF and read some of it yourself. I looked at the little bit of PDF. It's different from the book, but hey, get what we can out of that. It's different from the book I have. It has way less pages, about 80 less pages in the book that I have. But hey, I'm sure still going to have great information. I think the one that Brother Abdullah actually put up was a first edition. I think mine is a second edition. But that's the whole thing. Hey, we got to chase this information however we can. The Most High's giving it to us, and it's stop being scared to look at other avenues and getting other information. Hiding all of our information, telling us that telling us that you can't read this, you can't read that. What's crazy is that if it was the devil's information, if it was really his, why would the book be $1,700? As we already know, the devil makes things very convenient and very easy. If he has a narrative, he give you those books for free because he wants to push his narrative. He wants to push the way he wants you to think. So he's not going to make these books very difficult to get. He's not going to make them, they're not going to be difficult at all. Because if they want to lead you astray, they're not going to make these books difficult to get. They're going to make it nice and easy. Just like we went to school. If they wanted to teach us a certain narrative, did we have to pay for those textbooks? Nope. I said those textbooks were already provided. They're already provided. They were free. And if they wanted you to get that information, they're going to make sure that it's going to be nice and easy for you to get. You're going to get an A for, memorizing their facts. You're going to get an A in the class for memorizing, and just regurgitating the things that they tell you and not thinking for yourself. Good seeing you, Daniela Sutherland. Good seeing you. Exactly. They hide the good stuff and make the fluff easy to find. Exactly. So when you get that understanding, then you got to take that not just in biblical books. You got to take that in all information. You got to take that all over the place. Whenever you got people telling you, don't look at this, don't look at that. Exactly. Exactly. Learn about the Europeans having, they're going through their struggles, but then ignoring all of our struggles and all these books. Like you talk about Bartolome de las Casas, and he was actually a priest who was writing about the things that the Spaniards were doing over here. And I said I got a couple of his books. He got some good information about the things that they were doing to our people over here. But like I said, but they didn't really. I think a lot of his information they kept suppressed for a very long time. Oh, I didn't see that about the black people being his victims too. Yeah, you said they won't say nothing about us being in the Holocaust, though, right? They won't say nothing about the millions of us that have been killed, right? And that's kind of like something that I see right now, especially with a lot of the Gentiles, is if they have any kind of difficulty, they make it seem like it's the worst thing ever. All the while, they have ignored everything that's happened to us. Exactly, they mark our real information as a cult and some type of satanic influences. Exactly. Exactly. Occult just means hidden. That's all that it means. Just like apocrypha means like hidden. Exactly the same kind of a thing. And then you actually go and look at it yourself. I'm like, this isn't satanic. This isn't teaching me how to do spells. This isn't teaching me, how to do magic and do all these other things. That's not what this is. That's not what this book is. This book is giving a lot of information. Is that stuff in there? It could be. I said I haven't gotten to that yet. I haven't read the whole book. I said it's a lot of information. Like I said, a lot of these books are not books that you can just pull them up, read over the weekend, and you got it all down. It does not work like that. I said this is like a lot of high level thinking. What they do is they use a lot of big words. They use like a lot of words, a lot of like very sophisticated vocabulary. So in order to hide things, because the vast majority, first of all, most people ain't even going to read these books. But then if you do read the books, then they're going to still make it difficult by putting, these high level vocabulary words where you're going to need to look these things up and see what they mean. They could make it nice and easy and just tell you what it means, but they're not going to do that. They're going to really make you work. It's like the Most High, the glory of the Most High is to hide a thing, but kings will search out a matter. I said the Most High, like you said, always tests you. So if you're really about it, there's going to be different levels to this. You're going to have to definitely search out this information and search out this understanding. And not only are you going to read the books, but then you're going to have to pray for understanding from the Most High. Because sometimes, like, I'll read something and I don't get it at first, and I'll pray about it, sleep on it, and then go back and read it, and then it makes much more sense. So, and you have to kind of ingest it. Sometimes I'll even do a video on certain things, and I don't really understand it as well as I think I understood it okay. So I'll start the video, but then the Most High will give me more understanding as the video goes along. Some things will be, it'll come to me more when I do the video. So that's why I don't have to have a total 100% understanding on something to do a video on it. I'll start doing the video, and the Most High will give me the words. I pray all the time before I start a video, Most High, please give me the words. Please guide me in what it is you want me to, share with the nation. I said, because, some of this information is over my head. It's, above my pay grade, so I need you to, guide me through this. And he does that all the time. And once you have faith that he's going to do that, it happens all the time. A lot of this is about belief and about faith. We definitely have power. And that's what, they don't want you to realize. We got these angels that are sitting here waiting for us. The Most High is, given us, access to these angels. These are our angels. They're our helpers. I said we just have to learn how to, reconnect with them once again. And faith is a huge part of it. When you start to believe that these things are going to happen, that's when the Most High, manifests it. That's why hope and faith is always something that they've beaten out of us. Yes, we have power, but they've made us afraid to use it. Fear is the opposite of faith, exactly. Fear is definitely the opposite of faith. I know that, Dan, Kwame Sherrill. Let me see that. Let me check that again. Big Judah, did you know that Acts 16:16 is talking about a possessed crazy girl and not some witch like the Christian church pushes? Also, Susan is what our prophets did. Yeah, I mean, like I said, when you start to get away from just the church's definitions of things, you start to see a lot of things that they've said was evil is not necessarily evil. And it's not the way they've explained it. Say, Miss Ebby, yes, ma'am, at Deb Moore, run us them checks. Since we're victims, where's Bernie Sanders now? Talking about reparations is too divisive. But his people got them money bags, though. Exactly. It's only it's a divisive issue when it's talking about us actually getting something. I said that's when it's divisive. It's divisive when it's talking about giving the Hebrew something, because it's all about that Psalms 83. They'll definitely take care of each other. I said, you got to really get in the habit of looking at things through that perspective, through that lens, that Psalms 83 lens, and you'll be able to see the world so much clearer. Keep it us for so long, suck the energy out of us. Yes, it did, for years. But if you understand, and you start looking at things through that Psalms 83 lens, then you'll see why, when the Japanese got put in internment camps, they got money. When Ish supposedly when they went through whatever they went through, they got money. When certain, groups of natives that might be Hebrew, might not be, I said they excluded certain natives and they gave other natives money. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, who are they? I said, when they went over to Iraq and they destroyed Iraq, they rebuilt their stuff. When they went into Libya, they rebuilt some of their stuff. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, when other nations when they go against us, they all seem to, get money, and they seem to get reparations. They seem to get, compensated for the things that have gone over on them. But Afghanistan, exactly. I said, but when it comes to us, we know they're still exploiting us, though. You see what I'm saying? It's like they're still exploiting us. They're still getting things out of us. The $5, yes, they got theirs too, exactly. So it's like, and hey, that's okay. I said, hey, I'm glad you guys got that. I said, because that was your blessing. That was your come up. That's what you got. Okay. Everyone has gotten their money except for us, because the Most High is going to He's going to take care of us. The Most High is about to take care of us. He's already taken care of us, as you can see. That's why, making a deal with Satan it makes no sense. I said, especially at this late date, to me, it makes no sense, because the Most High is going to give us everything back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like making a deal with Satan for how long? I mean, how much longer do you think Satan's going to be in control of our assets? I said, this whole continent is ours. Everything here is ours. There's other land masses over in over in Europe, over in different areas, Asia, I'm sure even over in Africa, there's certain parts, I said they're ours. I said, so he gave us half of the world. Half of the world we see, I said, so when he broke down everything, she gave Shem, Ham, and Japheth their inheritance, I said half of the world was given pretty much to Shem. And then, a quarter went to Ham and a quarter, right, went to Japheth. So, I'm not going to be content with just whatever little thing they want to, try to give me or whatever else. I said, that's not, you can keep it, hold on to it till the Most High comes and divvies everything back up. But something that, I don't know, you guys, I talked about it before, was what's going on with, it was a New York prepper and off-grid desert prepper. is, like I said, to me, that's just like a microcosm of what's happening, worldwide with a lot of these Gentiles. I said, I'm sure a lot of them know what's going on. They see the fact that things are not getting better. Okay. So some seem to be wanting to, admit some truth. And some are like, hey, hold the line. You don't be telling these people anything. If they figure it out on their own, I said that's one thing. But you don't be helping them. You already, took the bag. You're already part of this conglomerate. Egypt against Egypt. That's how it is. It's going right now. And I wanted to read something because I was just cracking up. I said because the only way these things have been working is because we've been, asleep, and so they can ignore everything that's been happening to us. Let me go here real fast. History, no. Where are we at? Hold on. Off grid. This channel. And we'll go to his community. It's in his community post. And this was hilarious. Because, supposedly he's been kind of going through some rough things with a New York prepper. So he posted this, and this was funny. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and say all manner of evil against you falsely, for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Matthew 5, 10, and 12. Okay? So I'm like, bro, are you serious? You're really talking about this dude talking about your views on Russia and the and talking about you for an hour, pretty much talking about the fact that you pretty much going point by point and saying the opposite of what you were saying, and somehow now that's persecution. That's being persecuted. You know what I'm saying? I like Off-Grid Desert Prepper. I like it, like he does the news breakdowns and stuff like that. I just crack up when everyone is so quick to try to use the Bible to apply it to their situation, but they're steady ignoring the fact that your country destroyed our people for hundreds of years. If that is persecution, someone talking about you for an hour on a video and not even really calling out your name, but just going against your views or going against your video, that's somehow persecution. I said that's just laughable. It's comical. But that's what they've been doing. That's how they've, tried to pretty much put themselves in our positions. You ignore us, you ignore all the things that have happened to us. Like I said, that's what I said before. You're not gonna be able to admit certain things. Like, yeah, America's done some bad things. I said, that's lukewarm, bro. I said, you need to go all the way in. You need to tell it all the way. You're not gonna be able to get away with just, okay, yeah, man, we did some stuff. We've done some things. No, Most High gonna want you to say it all. Okay? I said, you're gonna have to say it all. You're gonna have to do it all. They're always messing with the numbers here on the live. It's kind of funny. It went from almost 700 people here to 1. I said, so it's just absolutely hilarious listening to them. But something that he did on his last video, I was listening to it earlier, was, let me see here. He was pretty much talking about how the general, hold on here.
So let me go ahead and read you the article here.
Let me listen to a little bit of it right here.
This is also from War News 24/7. War News 24/7 is breaking this news. This is a Greek website.
You guys hear it okay?
Historic sermon of the USSR, USA for Ukraine, the biggest crisis since the Cold War. NATO war machine
Okay, thank you.
is
Appreciate
ready.
that. Fair
And
use.
this is the statement by General Mark Miley. In one of the rarest moments in history, due to the critical moments, U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin and Chief of the General Staff Mark Miley have gave a joint press conference with the Pentagon to the American people, the Europeans and the Russians. So, folks, you are witnessing history right now. History is unfolding before your very eyes. We have not had a situation like this since World War II. Will Russia invade? I don't know. The United States and NATO seems to think that they will. Russia keeps saying that they won't. And we do have some interesting video coming in from Vladimir Zelensky himself, the president of Ukraine. And he's saying that America and Western countries are overblowing the situation.
Now, what this general was talking about, how NATO was going to invoke Article 5. And I guess Article 5 is like if any NATO country is attacked, that all the NATO countries are going to come to their aid. Okay? Now, that's fine if you're in NATO, right? But supposedly Ukraine is not part of NATO. So they're like, is he secretly saying that Ukraine is part of NATO now without really even bringing that up, without actually, telling everyone that they're actually part of NATO? They would kind of treat them like they are, the way they're giving them all this lethal aid and they're giving them all, they're activating all these troops and everything else. So it kind of seems like, they're acting as if they are part of NATO. So, but that's what they were talking about, how, they had a whole huge news conference and they were talking about that, the lethal aid and, well, they're talking about Article 5, invoking Article 5. So I'm like, are you guys going to invoke Article 5 if Ukraine is attacked? And is that going to be your precipice for actually, or your pretense for actually going into war? I said, so we'll see. We don't know. I said, but it's just amazing how all this stuff is unfolding. But it's all going hand in hand with our awakening, which is why I feel like it's so important for us to make sure that we continue to come together. We continue to grow. We continue to produce, good fruits. Yes, exactly, Bacoba, exactly. Ukraine was trying to rush its way into NATO, exactly. I said it's just it's a beautiful thing to see how our awakening is coinciding hand in hand with what we see going on with these other nations. And but just like I said, I like Off-Grid Desert Prepper. I like the fact that he actually gets information from other sources, and he actually listens to other sources. You're gonna have a different perspective if you're probably over in Russia, if you're over in Europe, than you are going to be out from over here. Because like I said, New York Prepper is pretty much anything America does is okay. Anything America does is okay because it's America. And is the Most High is that how it's going to work with the Most High? Is he going to be okay with everything that you guys have done? But see, that's like a delusional way of thinking things, and he's going to be the one that's going to be surprised at the end about who the Most High's people really are, because he's not that pretty much that they could do whatever they want and there was never going to be any recompense. Oh yeah, we definitely staying out of it. We just observing. I'm not taking no sides. I'm just sitting here just bringing some information. We talk about certain things, but we talking about it again from the Hebrew Israelite perspective. Yes, he definitely pushes Republican propaganda. Exactly. Off-Grid is definitely more objective. Yeah, they're all lost. Yeah, as long as they don't admit who Israel is, they don't admit our impact into as far as a prophecy is concerned. I said, they're always going to be lost. I said, because everything is not about, equal access to the Father. It's not about equal access to information. It's not about equal access to understanding. The Most High gives understanding to who he wants to give it to. And we know that he has a covenant with the Most High's chosen people. So to be able to really see what's going on, you're going to have to be down with the Most High, and you have to be down with the Israelites. It's just that simple. Anyone else might have a different spin on things. They might understand things a little bit. I said, but you're gonna have to have our perspective on things, because even when you read, was it Psalms 9, when we were praying earlier, it talks about how the Most High is the God of the oppressed. He's the power of the oppressed. We know that all over the scriptures, that he is the power of the oppressed. So when you understand that, then you need to get the oppressed viewpoint on things. You can't think that you're going to get the viewpoint of the oppressor and really understand the oppressed point of view and the fact that the Most High is coming to avenge the oppressed. And that's something you never hear. Like it says in the scriptures in Jeremiah 16 that all of the Gentiles is they're going to say that our fathers have inherited lies. If they're going to come to the Most High saying their fathers have inherited lies, then why would we listen to you? Why would you think that your perspective of things is going to actually make any sense? Why do you think that that's how things are going to work out? If all over the scriptures it says that when the Most High cracks those scribes open, that all the nations of the earth are going to be in mourning. So then why exactly would we be listening to them? Why would we listen to them when they say, you can't read this, you can't read that? I mean, it makes no sense. Exactly. Gentiles really believe they're making prophecy. I used to listen to Paul Bagley. That dude was over the top. Yes, Paul. Yes, I still listen to them sometimes. I still listen to some. I mean, I'm still subscribed to them. I listen to them like just to get their perspective, because sometimes you need to kind of see like, wow, you guys are so off. Wow, I like the way you twisted that scripture. Wow, I love the way you just ignored those facts. Sometimes because when you really have the Most High and you have the Holy Spirit, you can see how they ignore certain things, how they ignore scriptures, how they okay, that doesn't apply to you, that applies to us. Okay, hold on, that wasn't you, that was us as well. Okay, hold on, just like those scriptures like about persecution. Okay, that's persecution to you. And that's the thing with me. It's like, if that's persecution to you, then how is it that you can just ignore the stuff that has happened to us? Or how did you get that from that scripture? Exactly. How did you get that from that scripture? What you see what I'm saying? Like it's actually pretty comical. Yep. The icon books, the Russian icons books, straight up black people. Exactly. 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 We can no longer be ignored or hidden. Exactly, yo. Exactly. Yes, Darius. Their interpretation of scripture is laughable. Good point. How is there one Messiah in the New Testament, but many in the Old Testament? If the Most High doesn't change. Yep, that's it. And those are kinds of things where you really have to kind of sit back and kind of really think about things and understand, like, they've had our scriptures. When you understand that from 1 Nephi 13, that they were going to get our scriptures and they were going to manipulate them and change them and take things out, not just to screw things up for us, but also to screw things up for other Gentiles. Joel Osteen, But you know what I'm saying? Like I don't get it. I would think that at this point you would be like, hey, you guys have lied about absolutely everything, and I'm sure you're still lying right now because it's in your heart. I'm gonna go out and search for the truth. I'm gonna go out and search for truth. And that was like with our people. It's down here. I said we didn't care what color Jesus was. We still don't care. And I said we just want to follow the Most High. I said, you know what I'm saying? I said, we want to follow the Most High. I said, and it's in our nature to follow, and we don't care what he looks like. So that's how you guys got us in your churches for hundreds of years. That's how you got us to pray for you for hundreds of years. Because you know that we want to follow the Most High. It's in our spirit. So you guys just elevated you guys selves to these positions, of authority by giving us those pictures, just kind of just put that in our minds. I said, and we still followed you. I said, you know why? Because it's in our spirit. Oh, I like the Darius from that. New York Prepper said the Bible doesn't say America is Babylon. Well, if that's what you want to see, and that's the thing with these people. If you don't want to believe that America is Babylon, you'll say something stupid like that. Oh, it doesn't say America, so therefore it's not Babylon. I have had discussions with people like that, and it's like, oh, well, it doesn't say America. It says Egypt, so Egypt is over there. So I'm like, how long has that place been called Egypt? Perry has been quiet of late. Yeah, I mean, it's like, hey, they're watching. They're all watching these videos. They're watching us. I said, because like I said, we're the time clock. And like I said, our videos and our information that Most High has given us is going to be totally different than what they've heard. I like that. It's a mystery. Exactly. It's a mystery Babylon. So it's not going to be just right there in front of your face. Great job, Michelle Palmer. That's it. It's not going to be right in front of your face. It's not going to be that easy. But see, what does Satan say? It's going to be easy. It's going to be right here. It's going to be super easy to understand, according to Satan. But in the Bible, it tells you it's going to be a mystery. It's not going to be easily figured out. No, they're definitely watching right now. We know that. That's why all of a sudden you'll see videos, and it'll be like just a slight twist of things that we're talking about. Exactly. The Bible doesn't say Jesus was white either, and they still made him white. Exactly. Cesare Borgia. Exactly. And see, and that's why we love this family right now. I said, many of the things you guys say, trust me, Israel's going to they now have a voice. And now we have, a place to actually come and talk and actually just break down the lies that they be talking about. Like I said, oh, it doesn't say America in there. I said, oh, but it says the fourth part, bruh. I said that there was the other three parts that you guys all knew about. This is the fourth part you were not allowed to come to. So just look at how, prophecy was fulfilled after that. Look at the things that are happening. But, if it's not in there, if it's not in them to, to see it, they're just not going to see it. And that's okay. Because our Father just does not allow them to see it. Yeah, I was cracking up because Stephen Fletcher did a video. It popped up on my feed and was just cracking up. It was like, oh, is this all this stuff that's going on over here with Russia and the United States, just like pretty much a, let me just look it up. Let me just look up the video real fast. Like a smoke screen for Armageddon. I was like, oh, that sounds familiar. Stephen Fletcher. Let's say 222. Let's see if it pops up. Yeah. He had actually a couple videos. I haven't watched any of them, but that's okay. The first one was Ukraine smokescreen Armageddon. Okay, so Ukraine smokescreen Armageddon. So like yesterday we did the video about, a couple days ago we did a video about Joel 2, breaking that down, and then yesterday did in the morning. Most High, had me do that video, just kind of putting it all together in one video about Joel 2, and the Most High making them remove the northern armies off of the lands, and then actually rejuvenate the lands for His people, giving back the time that the canker worms and have taken away. And all of a sudden, we get a Ukraine smokescreen Armageddon video today, 5 hours ago. And then we got today, God of War is coming March 22, 2022. 322. So pretty close to our new year, talking about a God of War is coming. Now, we already know, except there's going to be huge events surrounding our new year. So we already know that because everything revolves around us, It's funny because, we've been taught to not think like that. You know what I'm saying? We've been taught to not think about ourselves, and we've been taught to think about everyone else. And it's like, oh, you can't be thinking about yourself. You guys are being conceited. You got to think about everybody else and not, but the Most High is like, hey, this is all about you. All this information, these events are all revolved around you. Their rise came from us fallen. Okay? They only rose up because we messed up. I said, so now it would make sense that as we rise, they fall. And that's exactly what's going on right now. They're seeing that all these things are going on. All these things. Hey, Sister Jay, great seeing you here. Let's see here. Exactly. And then we know that our power is a God of war. They talk about that in Exodus. So which God of war, I was like, come on now. I said, the God of the Hebrews, the power of the Hebrews. He is a God of war. Exactly. Many of us prayed for them for decades. Exactly. It's great seeing everyone here. Thank you guys for all showing up and coming in and spending some time with the family. So we said, we know that our power is a power of war. I said, He's definitely coming to redeem His people. So I just crack up with some of these videos and some of the, the things that are going on as far as like the videos that are popping up. Because like you said, we talk about something and all of a sudden you got these roundabout ways of copying a lot of the same things that we're talking about. Just like when we were talking about wands. And all of a sudden you start seeing all these videos about, did Jesus have a wand? And this, and that. You know, I said, you're going to start to see more and more videos like this. I said, because they're not, you can probably start seeing some videos about the temple and it being, Christians, and being the temple of God and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they do. They're going to copy a lot of stuff that we do because they don't have anything original, you know? I'm looking here. Hold on. Shelters open in Donbass. New deployments. That was something from Marfugal News was talking. I was watching that video a little bit earlier.
When was the last time you
about deployments? A lot of like the UK deploying troops, aircraft carriers or ships and whatever else. They were deploying a lot of the military. And I heard it. I think we deploy. They said we're either going to deploy. It could be between 8,500 to 50,000 troops over there in Eastern Europe. So you see, and we already know that they're moving all this equipment out of here. Talking about the trains a couple of days ago over in Texas, and they were moving all this military equipment out of here. I think that name was actually Avino was here a long time ago. We got Mabru Khan. I think it was already called that before. I want to say that was from a video from Brother Kudumeo or Fourth Studio Drop. They've done videos on that years ago about the original name here. I want to say Amerigo Khan. If anyone has that name, I said I don't even think it was from Amerigo Vespucci. They say it was, but I don't believe them. I know someone here will definitely have that information. Exactly. We are definitely the cons. Exactly. Yep. And definitely since the second stick came forth, Gentile Super Catch It every March this time will be no different. Exactly. I heard it on the drop. Exactly right. And it makes sense as to why, like, you're gonna start to see more and more. Everything's gonna start making more sense as to why they don't want us to read. They don't want us to get this information. They don't want us to get into other books. I said because they can't get this understanding. We could all get the same books. We can all have the same books. If you don't have the spirit, you're not gonna get the understanding. You know what I'm saying? So, and they know that they can't get the understanding. So therefore, since they can't get the understanding, they're gonna make sure that you don't try to get the understanding, because then your light is going to shine even more. And then people are going to see the fact that you have that light, that you have the light of the Most High. So it's like, okay, well, if I can't get it, ain't nobody going to get it. I'm going to make it seem as if these are the most evil books possible. And then you guys would, you'll go to hell for just reading them. But the real reason is because they can't understand it. It's not for them. How many times have we all read Joel chapter 2? How many times have we read Joel chapter 2? And then how many times have we seen it from the fact of, them coming over to the Americas, them coming over here and getting an opportunity to destroy us, when the Most High gave them their time to put us in chains and destroy us. And then at the end of that time, him getting them off of our land and kicking them up out of here and then renewing the lands. How often have you heard that from any of the Gentiles? I would say I've never heard that before. See, chapters like that, they just skip. They just don't even talk about. Thank you. It was called, there we go, at Big Judah, it was called America Pana. Kudumeo made a video years ago. Exactly. Thank you, Dan O. Comrade Sharala. Someone was asking, so I was like, that, like I said, we got plenty of brothers out here that's been doing this work for a long time and got that information. Great point right there, Mimsa Yasharella, which is the reason the Vatican Bible was written in exoteric language. They lack spirituality, even King James. Exactly. You see, and see, that's a whole exoteric and esoteric understanding. Once you understand that, then you start to pick up on these things like, oh, hold on, well, that's why they wrote it like this. Oh, that's why they left that out. Oh, that's why these breakdowns are like this. And that's why the breakdowns are not like that. I agree. Big Judah, we have to level up by raising our vibration and activate our third eye. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. And I was reading, and I thought, there's so much information. I could do so many videos, and I'm gonna, continue to do as many videos as the Most High allows me. I told you guys a couple days ago that I was gonna do a pretty big video. I haven't even touched that one yet. I said I haven't even touched that video. I probably have like 15, 10 to 20 slides for another video that I haven't even touched yet, because there's just so much information. And Most High kind of moved me to do these other last two videos these mornings. But that, like, a pyramid actually has a spiritual meaning just by looking at it. Okay, as we are here on this earth, we are definitely we are, what was I gonna say, influenced by the world. We're influenced by this flesh. Okay, and the things of the flesh really keep us down and keep us connected to the earth. But as we ascend higher, we vibrate higher. We start to vibrate more in the spirit. We start to change. We start to ascend to the Most High. Well, if you look at a pyramid, where it touches the earth, it's the widest, it's the biggest, and that is like a representative of our carnal self, how we're connected to the earth, and we have like a biggest footprint on the earth when we are connected to the earth. But as we ascend higher and higher, and we go up to a much more higher physical plane, it gets smaller and smaller, and so we get less and less connected to the earth and more connected to the Father. So when you start to see us ascending, our connection to the earth becomes less and less. Okay, I said, but our connection to the Father, gets to be like more on point, gets like a more direct connection. So that's why as a pyramid goes up, it makes that connection to the Most High, and it makes a connection to the spirit world. So just by even looking at a pyramid, you see how at the base it's connected to the earth, it's the biggest and it's more connected. And as you ascend higher and higher, you become less and less connected with the earth, and you can become more and more connected with the spirit world. So then that's kind of like a whole spiritual meaning of the pyramids as well. So like all these things, and I actually got that from my the Irish wisdom book, and it goes into a lot of that kind of information. It even talks about the three parts of the earth. The three parts representing Africa, Asia, and Europe, right? Well, in this Irish wisdom book, it talks about how the three parts actually represents the body, and Africa is like the hips. I guess even like in Irish, it kind of means like hips. It means like the more like the sensual parts of our bodies or understanding. Okay, so your hips, your Scorpio, all that, all that area right there. That's more so representative of Africa. China is like your navel and your chest area, stuff like that. I guess that would be more like Asia, and that's like the passion. And then Europe actually represents the head, the mind, okay, and the head and wisdom, okay. So that's what was the whole three parts. And then I was talking to my wife about that. She's like, "Well, what do you think the fourth part is?" I said, "I would think the fourth part would be like wisdom, would be actually like the spirit, because you actually need like a spirit, and to actually be able to connect with the soul. They might have a body. The three parts might represent the body, but they don't have a spirit. So I would probably think that the fourth part, like the other nations, the Gentile nations, they don't possess the same kind of spirit that we do. So I would venture to say, that was just my opinion, it didn't say that in the book, that the fourth part would represent the spirit, because I would actually talk about us. I said, so there's all these different things all over the world that have these esoteric meanings that many people don't even think about. They don't even make these connections about. They're happy with the exoteric understanding, and then they don't go any deeper. But it's not really, if it's not for them, then it's not for them. Okay. So like I said, there's so much more going on. But like I said, a lot of this information was hidden. It was not given to everyone. Like I said, this is information that, yeah, we know that there's more, but the Most High had these people hide it in books. They hide in this information and make it seem as if, if you try to get this information, there's something wrong with you. Even though they don't have the books, they don't read them themselves. I said, I'm still waiting for anybody to go ahead and make some videos proving anything that we said wrong. You don't see very much of that. You don't see very many videos actually proving the things that we're saying wrong. You just, so it doesn't really matter what they say. If you got no proof, and you can make all you can make all the slanderous comments you want, it doesn't mean anything because there's no proof in it. Too scared to go deeper because it's become blacker and blacker, and they hate that. This is true. This is true. I believe you, Brother Capstone. We have a higher self in the heavens, and when we connect with our higher self, he or she helps us to navigate this physical realm. I totally agree with you. They can't. They say they can't. They believe they're leaders and claim they know the Ruach, right? You got to eventually start thinking for yourself. Boris Johnson has ordered his troops to get ready for deployment next week. Yes, that's what he was talking about. The new deployments right there from Marfugel. Yeah, that's exactly what he was talking about. The tree within, ascending up through the chakras. Yep. So I'm moving some stuff here. Oh yeah, some of these books are as high as 53. Now I've seen some even higher than that. 53,000. I've seen some even higher than that. But like I said, the thing is, the Most High gonna make us. He's gonna get it to us. He's gonna get us our information because it's ours. He's gonna make sure that we get it. Because the thing is that as he gives us this information and the right people get their hands on it, it says, one watching, you done pissed us off. Went from like almost 800 or 900 people to one. Right. I'm just watching myself. No, I haven't heard about Saturn being our first sun. Like I said, I mean, a lot of things are open for discussion at this point. Oh, the numbers just kind of jump all over the place. Yeah, it just went to one again. Definitely, these bodies limit us. I totally agree with you. Yeah, it just jumps around. I don't know why it does that. Why it goes from 1 to 800 or 900, whatever number it's on. It jumps around all over the place. And the brother Paul Yohakanan. Hey, great seeing you here, brother. It was funny because I was going to actually talk about that. We had like a little. He made a comment, and this is a beautiful thing with Israel. Brother made a comment about astrology, and I kind of responded back to him, and he gave me some scriptures about his point of view, and I kind of talked to him and told him that some of the information is in other books. And what's a beautiful thing is that you can you can agree to disagree. We can agree to disagree because you know what? We don't have all of the information. I says we don't have all the information. So I mean, and a lot of the information that we've been given as far as like astrology and what it really is, stuff like that, has been given to us from the Gentile point of view. And as you can see, they don't want us getting this information. Like I said, because if they can't read this information, if they can't read it, they damn sure don't want us trying. I said, because trust me, we're going to be able to read it. Someone in our nation is going to be given that gift to be able to read the information and give us the breakdowns and things like that. And they know that. But what's a beautiful thing is like, we can agree to disagree. There's nothing wrong with us disagreeing as a people. It's just about disagreeing respectfully. Hey, brother, that's cool. That's your opinion. I'm going to go with mine, and we'll see whatever happens at the end. See, it's funny how like other nations are allowed to disagree and have discussions and whatever else. But with Israel, if you disagree within Israel, it's like, oh, nah, nigga, you gotta go to hell if you don't agree with me. See, other nations can disagree and have discussions and whatever else, but with us, it has to go from either we agree 100 or you're gonna go to hell for disagreeing with me. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's what they've done with us as far as like, why we have so many different levels of understanding on so many different subjects that we're definitely going to disagree. Not necessarily because all the time because maybe you know more than I know, maybe just because I haven't been exposed to this information. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and that's the whole thing. So who's going to have? I would think that actually Israel should have more disagreements as far as information is concerned, because maybe the Most High downloaded way more information on a subject to you than he downloaded to me. So you might have way more understanding on a particular subject than I do, but I haven't been given that understanding yet. So I really should probably just kind of be quiet, just kind of listen. But it's like, and then maybe, pray for understanding, pray to, try to get better understanding on something, as opposed to, well, I don't agree. And if you don't agree with me, I'm going to, you're going to go to hell. It always seems to go to that extreme with us. But I think that that's something that was actually just implemented or pushed into our nation, because they don't want us to actually, that's how you grow. Isn't that how you kind of really, if you think about it, that's how we would grow, by talking to each other. These great philosophers that they've taught or talked about are Greeks or our people. So these great concepts that supposedly the Greeks came up with philosophizing and everything else, that was actually our people. They got that stuff from us. So we were the great philosophers and if you're a philosopher, that would mean then that you would have an opinion, I would have an opinion, we could have a debate, we could talk about certain things, but we would respect each other and we would grow from that interaction. They made it seem as if that was the Greeks, but that was actually our people. So like I said, I mean, actually just came to me right now just thinking about that would actually, I mean, that would actually be us. I like that capstone. We actually have all the information, but it is spread amongst our nation because the Father loves separation of duty. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. Like, hey, that's why I said there's certain things that I don't know. I pray to Most High, please bring someone in my path that has that understanding. Please bring someone to my path that can help me with this. And trust me, he does all the time. All the time. And I think that was also a reason why they had us disconnecting from our sisters that way. When I said many of our sisters are given a lot of understanding. But if you're taught to, to pretty much downplay everything that they say, and they're just allowed to be shut up and just be quiet and whatever else, I said, I'm sure that's part of it, part of the whole thing too. I said, I believe in like things being in order, us doing things in order, and working together in order as a family. I said, but everyone gets, everyone has their blessings. So like I said, I think that was all part of it too, keeping us separated as a family, keeping the men from the women, making us fight each other, as opposed to actually working with each other. And like I said, the great philosophers, the great thinkers were our people. And they're still our people. Good night. So wanted to, give us the opportunity to kind of come together. So like I said, I mean, the more that we now come together every single day, I'm trust me, I know in the chats, everyone's, people are able to ask their questions. People are able to answer, get answers for them. I said there's plenty of this, almost 900 people here. So I trust me, if you have questions, there's people here who know, people who studied, who have expertise in certain things. They'll be able to bring that information out. They'll be able to share that information right now, and you can get this information, these questions answered. And that's a beautiful thing. You can come to the people who actually have been blessed by the Most High to have this understanding. And it's not about, it's not about fighting and arguing or any of that. It's about telling the truth. And now we have an opportunity of a platform right here where we can come in and we can share information and we can share the truth. But it was funny though, because I mean, I get like quite a few comments, and when you're in a certain app, I get comments from like old videos and stuff like that too. So it's pretty funny. And some Gentile came in. It was funny. Well, yeah, I believe Jesus is black, but Jesus came and he still, but I think he's South African, and I believe that he still came and died for my sins, and through Galatians and blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh, so I've had this discussion with other people before. I'm like, oh, so it's okay if Jesus is black. It's still as long as he comes to save you, right? You don't care what color he is, as long as he comes to save you. I said that sounds like a whole lot of Christianese. I said, you've seen all that Christianese to not say anything. I said, you're still, I'm like, as these people, I'm like, you're still ignoring the fact that you guys have done all these things to the Most High's chosen people. You're still ignoring the fact that we were under the curses, you were under the blessings, and that those are going to switch. And you're going to go into the curses, and we're going to go into the blessings. I mean, like, you can say all the stuff you guys want about, your Christian dogma. I mean, and I told him, I said, hey, you're welcome to believe whatever you want. I'm not here to, change your thoughts or whatever else. If that's what you want to believe, be my guest. Go ahead and believe that. I said, but you're still ignoring the fact that the Most High's chosen people have been here, have been enslaved. No one's paid for it. They're still not treated, fairly. No one's still admitting the things that have happened to them. No one's admitting all the things that you guys have gotten from doing all these things to us. You just can't just skip over all of that and then just say, oh, well, okay, man, I'll give you black Jesus, but he's still going to save me. That's that same mentality of like when we came into this truth and we realized that, the Israelites are so-called black and brown people and things like that. But still, we have to follow the 66 books that you set up. We still got to follow the same things that you set up. I said that doesn't really break us away from your churches. And that's a lot of these Gentiles. I said, you guys are gonna have to break away from that whole thing. Yes, I do have a website. It's bigjudah.com. It's in the description box. It is bigjudah.com, and there's a lot of information already there. And there's also notebooks done by Sister Cassandra as well that you can download from my earlier videos with a whole lot of scriptures already set up. So you can go ahead and check that out, and you can download those if you would like. So Brother Rick and Brother Teddy are still maintaining that site for us. So thank you so much. If you guys definitely want to help them out with cost for maintaining the site, I think they have information where you guys can actually help them out as well. Because like I said, it's a plethora of information. I said there as well. And I said how my website is. I mean, it's my email, tribeofjudah0, like the number 0 at gmail.com. It should be there on the website. You have to go to bigjudah.com, and it should be on the website. I see that, Queen Selah. This guy, Jacob Israel, actually has the scene from Jacob's ladder ascending into the heavens as his backdrop. Lots of robbers trying to sneak into heaven and take our rightful place. It's just nauseating. That's what they do, man. I said, when you understand that, how they roll, they still act like they're the people, Yes, I believe most of them know too. And when they were under the blessings, they didn't have to worry about anything. They could just ignore us. I said, but now those blessings are going away. I definitely believe something game changing is coming as well. Maybe even sooner. I think it's going to be multiple events. Just like during the time of Egypt, there was this. I mean, all these different events were coming. All these different plagues were coming. You got these. Everything's being shaped up. You got these, these new deployments, as I saw right here from our Fugal News. You got, they're all expecting that shoe to drop. How are things ever going to go back to normal? How are things ever going to go back to how things used to be? You got all these other nations that are just jumping off, and I guess I think there was another launch today. I mean, it was North Korea shot off another missile today. You got all these ships, you got all these military planes, you got all these weaponry getting moved over to Eastern Europe. I said all these simultaneous events. You got all this information, and you got us. What's happened with us? We've broken away from the abominable church. We actually are free to search for the Father without any constraints from the other nations. Just think about this. I mean, just grasp that point, because that's something that like they've had over us this whole time. They've had control over what we read. They've had control over how we pray, how we search for the Father. They had control of don't read this, don't look at that fear factor. They've always had that. Even when you got into the truth, they still had their people set up to keep you from chasing the Father. They still got you can't read this. You come out of her, my people. Exactly. You've still been controlled. You still had that mental constraints on you this whole time. Oh, Cassandra's Corner is under a menu on Big Judah's. Thank you so much, Nelson Hollins. So Cassandra's Corner is under menu on Big Judah's website. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So it goes hand in hand. We've been broken away from the abominable church. Anyone telling you that you can't read something, you can't do this, you can't do that, that's the abominable church. I don't care what they look like. I don't care what they say. That's the abominable church. You should be able to read whatever you want, and you should be able to trust the Holy Spirit's going to lead you into the truth. You know what I mean? You have to experience evil to know evil, correct? I mean, if you've never been exposed to it, you're not going to know what it is. We've been living around evil this whole time. So I think that we should know that if you're reading something and it doesn't feel right with your spirit, you should probably put it down. And has that not been true like our whole lives? I mean, I'm sure that we've all gone through situations where something in our mind said, this isn't right. I don't need to be here. I don't need to get into that. I don't need to be, associate myself with this. I don't need to associate myself with that. Is that not the spirit that's been with us our whole lives, that's actually kept us out of trouble this whole time? I mean, I can think of that all my life, because I've definitely had plenty of my brothers and sisters I've grown up with that have gotten into trouble, gotten locked up, gotten killed, things like that. And I could easily have been me, but something told me, don't go out with this guy today. Don't do this here. Don't go there. Don't hang out with this person. Don't do this. Don't do that. That's the spirit that's been leading us to get us to this point this whole time. So now all of a sudden we get to this point. Now it's don't read this book. Don't look at that book. Don't look at this. Don't look at this brother. Don't go to his channel. Don't do this. Don't you think the spirit's who's been guiding us all the way to this point can continue her job and continue to guide us going forward? Even more so now, because now we've been awakened and we really understand that we're Israel. We have that spirit of discernment. And that spirit of discernment didn't just show up in 2015, 2016. The spirit of discernment has been with us this whole time. So you always listen to that feeling, So, like I said, so you don't need some man or some organization to tell you what you can and can't do. I said, because they're trying to tell you, not to chase the Father, that the Spirit can't lead you. The only person that can lead you is a man. And they said, you never heard that from me. You never heard me tell you, don't read this, don't look at this, don't go there, don't only listen to me, only come to my channel. Exactly, D'Angelo. So like that, especially when half those same people used to say read and are now saying don't read because they found one book that says only read this. Then, like you said, that book is how old? So pretty much any book that came out even after that book you shouldn't be reading. Exactly. I've always said I would not even feel comfortable telling people that. I would not even feel comfortable saying, "Hey, you know what? Don't be going to that person's channel." I doesn't even feel good coming out of my mouth. Don't be looking at that person. Only look at my channel. That is, like I said, to me, it doesn't even feel right. But it's funny how people keep saying that, but then they're constantly on my channel, constantly. Always talking about what I'm talking about over here, but don't come to my channel. Don't look over here, but constantly on my channel every day. I just find that absolutely hilarious. I'm gonna start actually. I'm gonna have to print out a syllabus. Print out a syllabus for some of these people who are just constantly on my channel and want to talk about what I talk about. Because the thing is that I don't have to plan what I talk about. I said the Spirit leads me. The Spirit leads me every day. This morning I woke up, and actually this happened yesterday. I was studying, and I write down a lot of notes in a notebook, and then I actually went back. I was writing some notes, and I was like, "Oh, I haven't done a video on this yet." I said I meant to do a video on this a couple weeks ago, you know, and so I said, "Oh, I got to make a video on that." That's the only reason I made a video that you saw this morning. I said because I actually was led to look at those notes again. I kid you not, I have a notebook with over 50 pages of notes that I have not even touched yet. And on every page, I could probably do multiple videos off of each page. That's how much information and these are from books that I've had for the last couple months. That's not even counting the new stuff that has been coming in. So like I said, this is why as a people, we are the time clock. We are the teachers. I said, these other people are teaching what? The same things over and over and over again. I said, I can teach pretty much different things every single day. Just like, 'cause Friday we talked about Joel 2. Today we talked about the transcendental magic, talking about the third temple being your spirit. Tomorrow we could talk about something just totally different. I said, because that's how Israel is. And it's not just me. I said, this is us as a family. We're working together to get this information. I said, when these Greeks came to Egypt, you could not even imagine the plethora of information that they were privy to. You can't even imagine how much information that they got their hands on. And see, that's why they don't want you to get into these other books. They had these books, but you haven't heard any of these topics before because the Spirit is not in them to teach them. The Spirit is not in them to give them understanding. When I did the video this morning, a lot of the stuff that I actually was talking about was given to me while I was doing the video. I didn't, before I used to have to script my videos. When I first started doing videos, I was doing maybe like a video a week. I would, be working on the video for like the whole week. And it would take like a while because I'm like, okay, I gotta find this. Okay, this verse goes here. Okay, this verse goes here. This verse goes here. And I had like a list of a paper, and I would be kind of like hitting all these certain points, as I did the video. And now I don't do that anymore. Now it's like, okay, here we go. I'll let the Father, guide me through this. And it's funny because people say, oh, you're not using the Bible. I'm like, bro, I use the Bible all the time. I said, I don't have like a set amount of scriptures I have to have for every 15 minutes of my video. I said, Israel here is well versed in scriptures. I don't need to put down scriptures for every single little thing that I touch, I talk about. You know why? I said, because the people here have all that information. I can do that. I can definitely do that if that's what I needed to do. But we're not babies over here. We got grown men and women here who know the scriptures. And what's a beautiful thing is actually, I got a sister who actually was breaking down all these scriptures for us. And I asked her, I said, is it okay if I use this or print this to show to the nation about like which prophecies have been fulfilled, which ones haven't been fulfilled, and things like that. So I'm just kind of waiting for her response so I can actually use some of that information on a video so you guys can see it as well. I said, this is how the nation works. We work together. I can't do all this stuff by myself. I said, this is a nation that's coming together. So all this information that's coming out that you guys can now, you take these videos and share them out. This isn't me. I said, this is the Most High getting his message out through all of us. Through all of us. Wear the Bible. I like that. Wear the Bible on your neck like Flava Flav on his clock. And I think it was Ancient Guard. Was it you that was saying like how many times have I watched the Ten Commandments and what was it, Prince of Egypt? I think my wife saw that and she was cracking up because she knows you. She goes, has she been in our house? Does she know that you watch that stuff all the time? Because I would watch. I love. Yes, she was like was laughing. She's like, "What is she like in my house? How does she know that you watch that all the time?" I said, "Because I'm sure all of us have." I used to watch. What is it? I might watch it again tonight. I used to watch it going to sleep all the time. Um, what is it? Ten Commandments and the Prince of Egypt movie all the time. My kids would hate it because I'd put them to bed, making them Passover. Yep. I would make my kids listen to it going to sleep. That or Left Behind. I would play that for them all the time. I'd make them all go to sleep, and they would all have to listen to that going to sleep, or whatever else, or whatever movie I would put on. Turn that off. Oh man. Exactly. I said, I never think, Brother D'Angelo, I never think anyone on these threads are simple. I learned just as much from the comment section than some of the front runners. Israel is the real deal. Exactly. That's how I learn from. I learn from everyone. I sit here, I don't ever sit here and think like, oh, I'm up here and you guys. Not at all. I said we all learning. The greatest story ever told, many a times. Yes. And like I said, and we watched that stuff, and like I said, we didn't care if they showed Jesus as being white. We wanted the message, because as I said, that's in our spirit. But them. As soon as you start showing black people, all of a sudden there's a problem. That's not the true depiction. What you got? You guys are starting up with this brand new, African American, blah 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 stuff. I'm like, okay, I said that's how they are. You know, I said, and it's funny talking about what is it, Black History Month. And we're probably definitely gonna be getting into their Black history. I said, yeah, because we're gonna start showing you guys that Black history is all of your history. You know what I'm saying? I said, y'all think it's a joke. I'm sure that, all the funny stuff that they be saying behind our backs. Yeah, we gave them a month. We gave them the shortest month of the year. Blah blah blah. I said that's not even their real history. Or we tell them that they're only talk about Malcolm, well, not Malcolm X, Martin Luther King all month long, pretty much. Rosa Parks. You guys fighting for some rights that we never wanted to give you guys in the first place. But that's okay though. I said, because we're gonna start to realize that you're gonna start to realize that Greek history is Black history. All history, your East Indian history is the Brahmins are the Israelites' history. Buddha, all that has to go with Black history. So I said we're gonna bring out plenty of information. I said to show you that actually Black history is all history, and that really the ones that don't have any history are you. Exactly. All 12 months, exactly. But that's okay though. I think last year I did the same kind of a thing where, but now we got way more information. You know what, Brenda Hill? I've never even watched Ben Hur before. My pops likes that movie, but I never even watched that one before. Don't know why, but I never really got into that one. So I couldn't tell you if it was true or not. But see, me personally, like I said, I think a lot of the things that like they say as far as like these histories and their movies, they all came from us, and they just all get changed up. I don't believe they make anything original. But that's just me that's just me. That's my opinion. But from many of the things that I've seen, a lot of the stuff is, like I said, is just, they rehash our stories, and then they just change it up a little bit. Obadiah White History Month. Oh my gosh. I told you, man, Israel be having me cracking up over here. Thank you, 10 to gatherers best. Thank you. I appreciate that. Queen said a lot of the imitators say they're spiritual Israel. Yes, they do. Spiritual Israel, but they don't want to go through any of these curses, though. You know what I'm saying? They never want to go through any of these curses. Oh, yeah, they get talked about a little bit. That's their punishment. That's their rough time right there. Exactly, Sean Black. Exactly. Considering all this research, it's starting to look like we're the only ones who actually have a history. Bingo. Exactly. Got a lot of snow back there. He says we're warm, but that snow was real this morning. Nothing original, exactly. I love Gladiator and Troy. Yes, I do. I love those movies too. Obadiah 18 specifically. Yeah, the 300. I love that movie. Gideon, Johnny Come Late, Stay Swagger Jacking. Yep, I love that 300. I know damn well that was our people right there. Exactly. Wearing a mask is their bondage. Exactly. You hear that all the time. I love that. They want our rhythm, but now they don't want our blues. I love that, Black Cobra. Yep. So I'm telling you, man, I love Israel, man. It's beautiful when we come together. You know, these sayings, these this understanding. I like that, Darius. Off grid, we'll say the sinner's prayer for New York prepper and squash the beef. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I definitely love Troy and Hector. 300 is definitely fire. I watched that one. That would be at another one that I play all the time too. The start of 300 all the time at the house. I haven't done it as much lately, but what is it, Da Vinci Code? You know, we were talking about that video from this morning. You like how they veered off on Da Vinci Code. You know, they're talking about the Knights Templar and what they found, and instead of actually talking about Israel, I said they moved on to the bloodline of Jesus. I said, but again, they're not going to bring out what the church was really scared of, how they were scared of the real Israelites because they knew that we were going to be able to awaken and go and rebuild that temple once again. And so, and now, like I said, when we started talking a couple of days ago about when we were awakened, when we started getting, that spirit giving us that understanding, and we're all around the same amount of time. I said that right there is a huge prophecy right there. That's an absolutely huge prophecy that's almost never talked about. The awakening of Israel. And how it's been a process of getting more and more awakening every single step. I'm probably gonna have to buy the Da Vinci Code. It used to be on Netflix, but they took that one off and they took off Angels and Demons. I like both because you know what? They reveal quite a bit of stuff in there. When you actually start they talk about in Da Vinci Code, they talk about the other books. I said they talk about the other books in Da Vinci Code, how there's all these other books. I said that that they were talking about all these different parts of the Bible that were kept out. I said the stuff that they concentrated on was still, a little off, but they pretty much were revealing that there's all these other books that were not agreed upon. They're talking about the divinity of Jesus and how it was like he was divine one day, or he wasn't divine one day, was divine the next. A lot of stuff. They dropped a whole lot of information in that movie. And I said, and all of a sudden, it's off of Netflix. Angels and Demons, the same thing. If you watch the part where Tom Hanks goes in and talks to the Pope, the dude who was like the standing Pope while they were getting ready to decide for one. If you look behind him, it looks like there's actually a picture of like a black Jesus or a black I want to say the Black Madonna behind him, and it looked like it actually came out of the Russian icons book. And that's when he was asking for permission to go into the Vatican archives. But they drop a lot of information about the Illuminati and stuff like that, and the things that the church did to the Illuminati originally, and how they wanted revenge later on. But see, a lot of times they don't talk about the things that the church does originally, how they start all this stuff. They start all the problems. They only talk about like when people want revenge or when people were actually defending themselves or whatever else. I said there's all these things that they put out there, talking about the how a bunch of the what was it? Their holidays were pagan, based off of pagan holidays, and how they just pretty much just came and followed the pagans. Like I said, like I said, I watch movies again and again and again, and I'll pick up other things, as you listen to them. Book of Eli is definitely good as well. Like I said, I just think they definitely, all these movies that they got, when you have your eyes open, you can see all this information. Definitely fall in with Denzel Washington. Got some good nuggets. Oh yes, definitely. Oh yes, I definitely finished. I did finish Lovecraft Country. So we're gonna have to have a special video just on that again, right? Just to kind of talk about some of that. But yeah, you guys can talk about Lovecraft Country now. I finished the whole thing. Wife and I finished watching that one. I was watching Don't Look Up. Oh my God. I'm not done with it yet. I'm to the part where they saw the what was it? The comet, and people were looking up, and then the president's like, "Don't look up." And as one dude had like a pen that had an arrow pointing up and one pointing down, I'm just like, that is our society to the T. That is our society to the T. Everything was a joke. They made a launch challenge, and people were blowing what was it, blowing up rockets in their face, and then taking people off grid for telling the truth. Every time someone lost their mind, they got taken off grid. Yes, don't look at it. It's absolutely hilarious. It is dumb, but you know what? It's funny. It's just I struggled through Don't Look Up. It was dumb. It is dumb, but that's our society. We live in a dumbass society. And that's exactly what everything's a challenge, you know. It's just hilarious. Oh, and they were gonna blow up the comet, and all of a sudden they guy found an opportunity to make some money, so they scrapped that idea. I haven't got past. I want to see how it ends, but it just, I mean, come on, man. That's exact. I could totally see them doing stuff like that. Oh, we're gonna break it into smaller pieces, and we're gonna quickly mine all that, and we're gonna, we're gonna get rid of world poverty and stuff. I was like, damn. I said this, but you can totally see it happening like that. It is totally mocking society. Exactly. But see, that's why it's a good time for us to be able to come together and just and talk. I said just, I mean, everything doesn't have to be a lesson. It can be just us just coming in and spending time together and shooting the breeze with each other, getting understanding, getting some getting some answers, some questions answered. I said, as it's a beautiful thing. Like I said, imagine when Israel gets the opportunity to come together, physically together and be able to actually follow the Most High the way we want to, the way that we're told to be able to. I'm looking forward to them Jubilee years, getting everything reset, enjoying a whole year of just, coming together as a family. We're talking about Lovecraft Country, the show. I want to say one of the brothers and sisters sent me the book. Was like the book that he was reading in the first episode was like $7,500, something like that. Fellowshipping, man. We definitely don't get a chance to fellowship enough. I said it doesn't have to always be about a lesson. It can be just about fellowshipping and have an opportunity to come in and just spend time together. Thank you, Sister Regina Townsend. I appreciate that. No, I have not seen that video of the angel flying by the space station. I definitely love my spiritual family as well. I don't know what Cthulhu is. What is Cthulhu? Oh, the fake alien invasion to gain world peace. Yeah, we'll see how that works out. They got a lot of plans. You know what I'm saying? Like we hear about all these different plans, but then I want to see the execution of all these plans. You know what I'm saying? They've had a lot of plans with us as well. All right, fam. I'm gonna let you guys go this evening. We might do another live tomorrow. I'm not sure. We'll see what the Most High has planned for us tomorrow. But we're definitely gonna keep on. Like I said, what you're seeing is that every time we come together, the more we grow, the more understanding we get. You start to see the other nations falling more and more and more. I think we're all seeing that right now. Like I said, it's a correlation between our rise and their fall. You know what I'm saying? It's a correlation between their rise and our fall, and it's a beautiful thing. And that's why, like I said, I think it's so important for us to continue to come together, talk together like this, fellowship together. I think this is, I got that. I have to kind of juggle between both. I love doing this, but I still also love bringing other information. I still love bringing out the other videos. You know what I'm saying? And then because like I said, there's so much information, and I can't keep it to myself. It's not for me. It's for we. It's for all of us. So that's why I'm still trying to drop videos also. But I gotta find time to do all that, but I also gotta find time for my family too. I still gotta find time for the wife and the kids and everything else also. So Constantine. I saw that one years ago. I probably need to watch it again because as you start getting into these other movies, you start going back. Like I said, I watched The Matrix. I mean, you can see so much in the first Matrix. I don't know what the hell what that last Matrix was. I only watched a little bit and I lost interest real quick. You got to give me something that's going to keep me interested. I said I only got so much time to watch these kinds of things. Because like I said, I don't look at a lot of movies now just for their entertainment value. I'm looking for things that are hidden in these movies. Yes, you can definitely share my videos. Like I said, this is all us all coming together. This is not, I said all of us are working together. All of us are working together to get these books. All of us are working together to get this information. I said so, and then I said, I'm Most High is going to bless everyone that's working together. I said the Most High is going to work. He's blessing everyone, that's working together to get this information out. I said this is us as a nation working together to bring out this information. And I know that many people are sharing information, sharing videos, and that's a beautiful thing as well. I said that information from today, I said, hey, that just more confirmation that in these books, there's nothing but a lot of great information. Someone actually, one of the brothers, I can't remember the name. You know who you are, that was talking about how, what is it, Bubba Fett? Oh, the brother who said he was part of the Knights Templar. He's talking about how Bubba Fett and the Mandalorian was a representation of the Knights Templar. And like I said, I love Bubba Fett. I love him in all those movies. I love that bounty hunter whole persona. I said I love Luke. I love the bounty hunter. Bubba Fett. Jedi equals Judah. Mandalorian. I said I love that. My boys love Mandalorian. I said and I knew, like I said, a new series with Bubba Fett. I said, but that was actually a representation of the Knights Templar. I can see that. I can totally see that. And how they said they were rich, they were going around and taking down countries. But you kind of think of it like, what is the Mandalorian? How they're saying like, what this is the way, like this is the way things are done. I guess what he would say, like this is the way all the time. And like us, that sounds like us. This is the way things are supposed to be done. This is the way you're supposed to do things. The new Boba Fett is dope too. So that I'm gonna start watching that one as well. Yeah, thank you, D'Angelo. Yeah, that's the thing. I said, so once you understand, like, when Yoda would be saying these things, you got to unlearn what you've learned. All these different things about the Force, nature. A lot of magic has to do with nature. A lot of what they were talking about as far as magic back then. Star Wars is definitely our story. It's It's definitely our story. I said, they didn't get that stuff on their own. I said, that's all us. That's all us. I see Lisa Cabrera's doing some work, late nights videos over here, popping up over here. So like I said, all these shows need to be, looked at from a different lens now. But I can see that with the bounty hunters, with the Mandalorians. I said, that's us. That's the, independent, strong, doing our own thing, going around saving the galaxy, activating that third eye, all that. Great seeing you here, Mrs. Bravo. Beautiful. It says, Big Judah, coming together at different times helps me to unwind from the world every day. Thank you so much, and thanks to your family for sharing your time with us. Stay blessed. Thank you so much, Maria. Child of you. I appreciate that French. Appreciate that. It says, all praises to the Most High. All right, thank you guys so much. Like I said, we'll see about getting it in here again tomorrow. Okay, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom, family.